It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Human City Junction. Tonight on Trains and Tech, we're going to go through a couple of the updates that I got going on, as well as showing and talking about whether and if I'm ever going to get some trains running again. But I do have to just because I thought it was hilarious. John Arthur asks, "What's with the fire extinguisher in that one shot?" So if you've been around a while, you know that I've got some fire extinguishers hanging by my door over here, and we've talked about the fire extinguishers. And a long time ago, I did a stream, I think, about safety or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sorry, I'm gonna move my camera. There we go. I did a stream running yeah, I did a stream about safety, and I wasn't sure what to do for the picture, so I took the fire hydrant down to the park with one of my little N scale. Oh, actually, I think that's an HO scale building from one of the Walthers, uh, their yearly contest thing. I took it down to the park and I took a picture of it. So that's what it was. So yeah. So Lynn, I don't know that I'm going to be done early tonight. I am going to duck out around 9 o'clock though, because second section has a show on tonight at 9, and I'm completely forgetting who they're talking to, but it looks like an interesting show, so I am probably going to check that out. Dennis, interesting you bring that up. I expect a big electrical fire. I was talking to my girlfriend about that the other day, because my goal at the end of the day is to put everything on smart plugs. So when I leave this room, everything will turn off, or I can turn everything off. And that's just because if I'm not here, it will prevent any sort of issues that might come up. But I just sort of thought it was a smart thing to do. So pretty much any of the things that would start a fire are going to be on a system that will turn off when I'm not here. So that's a bit of that story. I guess I'm going to throw this question out there. I wasn't sure if I was going to, I need to do something to be able to ask this. I'm going to ask a question. I was just talking about it earlier before the stream started. I was talking about it on Discord. And I am just going to ask the question now. It's not happening right now, I don't think, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. Yeah. So my old layout, everything was on smart plugs. My new layout, of course, everything is also going to be on smart plugs. Oh, Steve Davis. There we go. Steve Davis, section KCS, 3rd Division. That's right. That looks like it'll be a good conversation. Okay, so this is the moment where I try and keep talking to keep the stream going, but I'm attempting to type something different so that I can then, hit start poll. Yeah, I don't know. See, there you go. If it's good enough for Don Iris, it's good enough for me. But yeah, same, this isn't like I don't live here, so if something happened down here when I wasn't around, who knows how long it would be before I found out. Oh, geez. Listen up, you. I mean, I guess that is a little close, isn't it? I don't know. I don't think I've messed with I've messed with the setup again. I know, shocking to people, but yeah, it was good. I ran into speaking of the Edison Greenberg show, I did put up a short from there. I got to hang out with Mr. Sean from Dackman Productions for a little bit, catch up with him. I hadn't seen him in a while, but yeah, I did go down there. Oh, I can talk about that too. Should I talk about that bit of drama? Or should I just let that drama go and not talk about it because I keep talking about it? All right, let's do this poll real quick. So I'm gonna talk and type. If I changed my live stream to Friday nights at 9 p.m., would you still watch? Let's see if I can spell watch correctly. Watch. So we got yes. Yes, we got no. And I'm going to add one option for I do not watch it now. I would not. So I recently joined a club. The club is called the Model Railroad Club. It's in Union, New Jersey, and they do op sessions on Tuesday nights. So it would be kind of, I would enjoy going down every once in a while and operating on their layout. It's a huge layout, but it's Tuesday nights. It's Tuesday nights from like 7 to something or other. So I'm thinking about streaming at 9 o'clock on Fridays, which would be right after the crossing gate. So the crossing gate usually goes from 8 to 9. And I've reached out to Thomas Split Rock to just confirm that they do really only go for an hour. But video isn't very good until 31,000 feet. Don, I don't know what you're talking about. I missed something. So Ray, I know that's the other thing is it is clubbing night for people like Ray from around the layout. He likes to party. It would be 9 p.m. Eastern. So it would be 6 o'clock for the people in California. Oh, Don's in a plane. Got it. I didn't catch on. it's definitely a catch-22. So Saturday, the reason I wouldn't do Saturday either is the club is open on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So Tuesday night is op sessions, and Saturday is open house slash work sessions and stuff like that. So that kind of leaves out those days. You know, one night I would probably like to stream from the club, which I think would be kind of interesting. But the club's about an hour and a half away. Streaming is at 7 o'clock, or ops start at 7, end at 9, let's say 10 o'clock. So I wouldn't get home till 11. It's um, yeah, I don't know. 7 p.m. on Friday. The problem with 7 p.m. on Friday is it's just too early because it would be, what is 7 p.m. would be 4 o'clock for the West Coast people. And yeah, I know Friday is kind of a weekend for some people, but so far the poll is 7% says I don't watch it now, I would not. I'd lose 25% of you, but 68% of you would stick around. So if we look, I've got 42 people currently. So if I lost 25% of you, that'd be 10 of you gone. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just talking about it. I'm just thinking about it. I'm not sure. I used to stream, if people don't remember, back in the day, I used to stream at 10 o'clock on Mondays. And 10 o'clock was just too late for me. I just, it was just too late for me. So I liked the later night streaming though. I'm a late night person. I like that time of night. So it's kind of, it kind of be tough. I know, like, so Max got a social schedule as well. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Jerry says the op session thing will be a fad. You'll get tired of it, of the time it takes up. I've been loving it more and more and more. Yeah, see, Lynn, I like the late night shows. And if I do 9 o'clock, I can essentially stream as late as I want because nobody is on after me. So, you know, I could do my usual stream. And then theoretically, if I have trains running, we could, you know, go into like running some trains or something, something like that. Um, yeah, no, I know, Jerry. I know that's the reality of it. I just thought it would be a fun little poll question because it did come up right before the stream as well. So yeah, Cascade, I've got a couple op sessions planned actually coming up. So what is it, the 9th? I'm gonna go up to Connecticut for an op session, and the 16th I'm going way back out onto Long Island. I think that might end up being my last op session of the year because I don't know of any other op sessions after that. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I don't. I like Mondays over Fridays. Yeah, there is a crowd of people that stream on Monday nights, but yeah, Barry, like right, like Tom's on Monday and he runs late a lot. Nick from Nick's Crossing is on. Anyway, let's move on. Here's a story. Here's a story for everybody, and it's a topic we all love so much. Track cleaning cars. I've been looking at this style of track cleaning car for a while now. It is, this one was made by Atlas, but it's basically just the Tomix car. And if you look on the bottom of it, it actually says Atlas/Tomix. It has two options. You could either run it as a vacuum or you can run it. It's got a pad on the bottom of it. And when you pull the vacuum piece out, you put the pad on. The little pad spins. You can put some liquid in it and it drips on this little foam pad. So you've got a little spinny microfiber thing and you can, you know, get it wet. So I was at the Edison Train Club and I was about to leave. so I called myself an Uber and I was ready to head out the door. And then I saw a guy selling this at the like right at the front door, and I was like, let me see how much he's asking for it, and you know, we'll see if he has a good, like, it's kind of beat up. It's not in great shape, but you know, I think, I don't know, Dennis, don't know. We'll find out. It's not in great shape, so I'm like, oh, I'll get it for a good price. And then the guy tells me it's already got DCC installed. And then I was like, that's what I want. Because I don't want to have to DCC. Could I add DCC to it? Yes. I I I I I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it. So once he said it's got DCC installed, I said, okay, you're asking a little too much money for it, especially in the condition that it's in. But if I don't have to convert this thing to DCC, I'm in. I've been thinking about it forever. As John says, sold. Paid on a credit card, bought the train, ran out to catch my my Uber. I was taking the Uber actually over to the train show, and I was so excited. I didn't spend an over excessive amount of money, but this was not something I had planned on purchasing, so I did leave. I did leave spending a little bit more. So I get home and I'm really excited, but I don't have any tracks set up, so I couldn't really test it. But I figured, well, I could take it apart at least because I wanted to know what decoder was in it. I was just curious. I was curious to see how well the decoder conversion was done. So I started taking it apart. It took me a little while to figure out how to take it apart. If you don't know, there's actually screws on the bottom. You pull the truck off. Once the truck gets pulled off, these top pieces come off really easily. So I start taking it apart. And I'm like, hey, this doesn't look there. I don't, there's nothing in here that looks like it was modified. I don't see a DCC decoder. And I'm looking at the board that's in it. And I'm like, this does not look like a DCC board. So I was on Discord at the time and we were chatting. And I think it was Cameron looked up how to do the DCC conversion. Basically, the guy sold me a car. It wasn't DCC converted and it was overpriced. So I reach out to the guy and I was like, you know, I was really bummed. It's not even DCC ready. What I found out is, what I figured out eventually is, this guy was basing all of his pricing off of a brand new in the box unit that had been converted to DCC. So he never checked this unit to confirm that it had DCC in it. He just made an assumption because he found one online that had DCC. I keep knocking this hat off the wall next to me. So he didn't check if it had DCC. He just assumed, oh, there is one online, one available that I found, and it has DCC. So obviously this one has DCC. So he priced it the same as that one. So eventually he acknowledged, oh, it doesn't have DCC. It is just the DC version. And I said, well, I'll pay you $30 for it because that's about what it's worth in the condition it's in. And he goes, but it's the Atlas version. It's not the Tomix version. Like you know, it's in an Atlas box. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still the Tomix version. You won't be able to see it, but on the bottom here, it says Atlas/Tomix. And he's like, yeah, but the Atlas ones all go for X amount of dollars. And I was like, well, whatever. I'm not, you know, his first comment was, well, you can return it. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm not going to travel an hour and a half back down to the train show, spend like $30, $40 to get there and get back and whatnot, just to get discount on it. So, he refunded me a little bit of money, but at the end of the day, I'm extremely pissed off that I got taken for a ride. Um, I deserved it though. I was in a hurry. I saw it. I was at the door. I was running out. I don't know. Like I trusted the guy because even when I walked up to the guy, I was kind of like, like, oh, like I see you at every show. You're here at every single show. And I was chatting with him. It was him and his wife. And, I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. So I bought a decoder. I am going to convert it to DCC. I will use it on the layout. I'm just kind of, it's just one of those things where it's been a great holiday, right? Like, there was some great Black Friday sales. So how did this become my fault? I wouldn't say it is my fault, Derek. What I would say is I should have done my due diligence and I didn't. So that's it. I mean, it's not so much that it's my fault, it's that I got taken and I feel like an idiot for getting taken because up until this point, I have been buying stuff on eBay and buying stuff at various places, and I've never been taken this badly by anybody in the hobby. So it was very, very frustrating. Yeah, so Lynn, this one can be either a vacuum or you pull the vacuum thing out and you put the polishing thing in and go. So here's the thing, Jerry. The guy doesn't the guy right now just basically works out of his home. He all he does is goes to the Edison train show and sells this stuff. As far as I know, he might go to like the Philadelphia one as well. I'm not sure, but he's always at the door at the Edison show. And I asked him, I said, "Do you have a brick and mortar?" He said no, but he's working on it. He wants to convert his garage. So I got taken for a ride. It sucked. It feels like shit. I was really hoping the guy was going to do the right thing and just be like, yeah, you know what? I didn't realize it wasn't converted. Here, like I'll sell it to you at a reasonable price for what it is, but you know, and that was the thing. Before that, at the show before that, I only bought one thing, and it was one thing that I had planned to go buy at the show. I wanted to get, I keep opening the wrong drawer. I wanted to get these Firefly, where's the camera? Let's see, come on. Find a spot where it's, there you go. I wanted to get these Firefly Freds. It's a truck with an LED mounted on it, and for end scale, I thought I'd just check these out. So Yankee Dabbler sells those. Yankee Dabbler is at the Edison train show. My plan was that was all I was going to buy. Almost everything at that show was ridiculously priced. People were asking top dollar for things, and like I should have known, right? So I was looking at one vendor, and they had a Bachmann 44-ton switcher that was DCC, and I was like, this is what I wanted, right? So I've started, if one of the moderators is here, could type this in, maybe, I know Joey knows the link. I started this group just because I thought it was fun. The group is called only4axles.com, and it's basically just a Facebook group to post pictures of like 4-axle locomotives, particularly switchers. So I saw this 44-ton DCC N-scale locomotive, and I was like, I want one of those. That's really awesome. And then I looked at the price on it, and the guy was like $200, and I was like, holy crap. $200 for an old school Bachmann 44-ton switcher. Now, it's pretty rare. That's true. It was Boston and Maine, so it kind of would fit in because I have some other Boston and Maine stuff. But ultimately, it was like $200. I was like, geez, that's just nuts. So what I ended up doing is I went online because I wanted to bookmark it so that if the locomotive came up somewhere else, somewhere cheaper, I could, I could pick one up because it's something that would be nice for my collection, but whatever. So I start looking around, and eventually I find out not only is there a Boston and Maine version, there's a PRR version. So I wanted the Pennsylvania Railroad version, but the only one I found was $200 on eBay. And I was like, well, I'm not paying $200 for an N scale 44-ton with DCC without sound. Without sound. There was no sound. And I have paid, $200, $250, $300 for a really good DCC with sound N scale locomotive. So it wasn't that. It was that it was a used Bachmann DCC only locomotive from several years ago. It wasn't the same guy. It was a different guy. But the eBay seller was Model Train Market. It had the PRR, whatever. And I kept getting all these emails about sales from Model Train Market, lots of sales. And I was like, I wonder if by chance that they're having a sale on it that's on their website, but that they just didn't post on eBay. So, that would make sense. I've gotten a bunch of stuff from Model Train Market. They do a good used business, so I've gotten a lot of stuff from them through their used sales. So I know that the quality of what they sell is really good, but I wasn't going to pay $200. So I look on their website, and I see that on their website, regularly, I think they had it listed for like $170 or something like that. But because of Black Friday, they had the thing on sale for like $136. So it becomes this whole thing of, Model Train Market's doing the same thing this vendor is, right? Like if I go on eBay, I see this PRR locomotive is $200. But if you go direct to their website, it's only $136. It's still got free shipping, but it was just, anyway, word to the wise, be warned, do your research. Even if you're at a train show and something looks too good to be true, it probably is. If somebody tells you it's DCC, double check. It may be, it might not be. Oh, it's just, yeah, well, right. Joey, that's the other side of it. Yeah, I think eBay takes what, like 3% off the top or something. So, they're losing money, not losing money. eBay providing the platform, they have to pay to use eBay's platform. So yes, that is true. Cameron, I'm not still going on about the car. I'm talking about N-scale locomotives now. So anyway, should we move on to what I have accomplished on my layout? Or should I just keep ranting about pricing? Yeah, this is, it's the Bachmann N-scale 44-tonner. So it's N-scale, it's not HO. The HO ones are a dime a dozen. You can find them everywhere. The N-scale ones seem to be pretty rare. 44-tonners in general and N-scale are just pretty rare. So the comments I post are blurry now. I think you just need to refresh. I hope that's all it is. I thought Heath was going on a rant about everyone standing in one spot at option. No, that was just my other video. Okay, I'm going to turn the lights on, and we're going to go over into the corner here because I want to talk about something that happened. If you are a member of the channel, I've started posting. Oh, is it 15%? Wow, I didn't realize it was that high. I started posting on YouTube for members only, just photos. So like stuff that I'm like talking about today, I've already posted photos up for members, so you get to see it as a video, but uh, that's what's happening. So this corner has been a little bit of a problem for me. I've been having a hard time getting, so this way is what has already been done. I've already got the holes in place. I've already got all that way. I already got all the switch motors in and all that kind of stuff. Going this way is what I still have to do. There's no, you can see like there's no holes or anything on this switch. But before I laid this down, what I really had to do was make sure that I got this lined up with this lined up with that. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. What ended up happening was this turnout right here ended up with the throw bar location right on this seam. And the reason that was a problem is that I've got a metal plate underneath that is helping to align that seam so that that seam is as aligned as I could possibly get it. So having this throw bar on here with the metal plate, it was kind of a problem. But I didn't find this out until after I had, you can see here, the layouts transferred down to this. So what I did is I went back to the drawing board, aka back to AnyRail. I'm now on version 134 of the layout, and I moved this curve turnout back this way. So it used to be here, moved it back here. I reoriented this track, which is an industrial track, and I'm losing one of my pins. Where did this pin come from? I don't know where that pin went. That's fine there. So this is an industrial track, and then this is the main lead into the yard. So it's very important that all these tracks are as well laid as I can possibly get them. And this corner has just been a fight getting all of this level and lined up and stuff. So been spending a long time doing that, but I think I finally got it the way I want it. Dennis from Otter Creek, I'm going to move the camera, so hold on to your britches. But I do now have this entire section laid out, drawn out onto the bench top, and I am going to start drilling holes and everything for switch machines and LEDs and getting all the wires prepped and all that kind of stuff. This here, I was just sort of checking if I have the industrial lead come here. I wanted to make sure that I still had room for this track to come through as well. So I laid out some stuff there. So we're getting somewhere. We're definitely getting somewhere, but you know, yeah. Joey, that is probably true. I will hopefully have it all figured out when I get to version 189. Bill, thank you so much. It's always great to see you. Don't feel bad. There are a lot of less than model citizens out there, even a few in our hobby. Maybe this will help. Bill, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. But yeah. So that's what I've been working on. But I guess the thing that that I want to show, and we'll stick with this right now before we get to the camera setup, because we've got some more cameras set up in here. But before we get to that, because of my situation at the train show that I spent 15 minutes talking about, I decided I needed some track setup. I needed to be able to run a train. I needed to be able to test things. I do have like a little portable test setup, but I was I wanted to get something a little more permanent. I wanted to get something connected to the programming track of of my DCC command station so that I could hook it up to JMRI and get all my locomotives and stuff set up in JMRI and, you know, do all the decoders and everything. So, what I did was I decided I was going to set up the subway and get the subway running. So um, the subway or the idea or what I'm planning to do for the subway is I'll have this track here is going to be exposed up to this point, and then from this point on it's going to be all hidden. So I've got the motorman set up here. It's got a switch on it for either motorman off or normal. So when I turn it on right now, it's set to motorman. So that'll allow me to have my back and forth train. If people remember, I used to have a train that just went back and forth in the back. So I've now got that motorman set up, but what I'm going to do as well is I've got this set, or what normal will be is normal will be programming. So I'll be able to throw a DCC locomotive on over on this side, and I'll be able to program it and set it up and check it and test it and all of that nonsense. What I was not able to do though is I was not able to extend it and make it go all the way around. As I guess a lot of people know, this does stretch from one end all the way to the other over here, but I couldn't find enough straight track to get myself all the way around. So, of course, I went right online and I ordered some more track because I just didn't I didn't know where all the track went. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't remember. Today I went downstairs into my storage unit because I was doing some work in here and it was really cold and I wanted to get some stuff out of the storage. And as I was rifling through things in storage, that's when I remembered that back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember, I did this this gradient test, and I should say I did this gradient test incorrectly, but all of my straight track, 8 feet of it, was still connected to was still connected to all of that. So I've now ordered track that I don't need because I found the track that I had, but yes, I do now have a train running. That is, I guess, the exciting part. It's just running on the motorman right now. I still need to hook up the programming track, but yes, it's all working as planned. Jerry asked a question, and I think it's worth answering. In that, did it all work out? So yes, it worked out exactly as I planned, except I didn't plan this corner very well. So the corner that I was talking about over here, this corner, this should have been one piece of wood, and I should have moved this section this way more. This whole part, this really needed to be one piece. Let's go back over here. I'll show you. So what I did, because so the room, yeah, I did. I found all my track. Yeah, Corey, this is the track plan, but this is version 117. So there are now 2 changes between this version and the what's now out here. But yes, yes. So let's go back here for a second. When I designed this section as one piece all the way to the corner. And then this section here going this way is one piece all the way to the corner. And this is the main yard, so I wanted this to be all one piece because I wanted it to be level. And this is the start of Manhattanville, so I wanted this to all be one piece. This here, this section here, I knew would be the easiest to adjust. This is basically just 2 tracks and they connect from here to here. So there's a lot of play in these 2 tracks that I could have the room's not square, right? So this is where I was planning to adjust for the squareness of the room as I built it in. So I planned on having this piece here, and then I planned on a separate piece in the corner. But what I should have done is I should have gotten one piece that was this wide, or even a little bit wider, and just had one piece in here and then cut all of this out from one piece. The way I have it right now is there's a joint here and a joint here. And that's just way too many joints coming out of the main yard, going to the rest of the layout, in my opinion. So what I'm going to do to remedy this, remedy quote unquote, is I'm going to do all the wiring on this side, right? I'm going to get this all wired up. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to screw this down. Then I'm going to screw these sections in place here. And then I'm going to spend a lot of time leveling this piece and this piece, basically between here and here. Some of that's going to require adjusting the heights of the legs. Some of it is probably going to require some plaster and stuff to get like this seam lined up and stuff like that. But because it's N scale, and this is a very sort of, there's going to be a lot of traffic across here. I want to make sure that this is as lined up and as bulletproof as I can possibly get it. So it's gonna take some time. It's just kind of unfortunately the way it is. So I do have scraps. I have plenty of scrap. Like, you know, for example, this corner here, am I still on the screen? Yeah. So like this corner here was cut from a scrap. But what I don't have is a piece that was this big. I didn't have enough to do that. So after I mark this down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 pieces and I'm going to take them off and I'm going to spend some time getting this joint as flat as I can possibly get that and secure this joint as well as I can secure that joint as flat as I can, so that my only sort of problem joint becomes this joint right here. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a little bit of work to do in the corner, but you know, it's all part of the fun. Yeah. So if you don't know, Bill, the area in New York City around 125th Street is called Manhattanville. It is, it's not so much what it's called now, but that's what it used to be called, is Manhattanville. And Manhattanville had like a brewery. It's where the Studebaker plant was. It was an industrial area at one point, and there's just some really interesting track work there now. The New York Central used to serve warehouses off of a bridge. So if you go up the highway today and you look over towards Manhattanville from the West Side Highway, you can still see the platforms where they used to unload stuff from the New York Central when they used to run along the West Side. Yeah, Jerry, to level out the gaps there, I will probably need to use some filler of some sort to do that. But I was talking to Jonathan Jones, who has a C&J layout, and he told me how he did a lot of the leveling on his layout. And I'll probably use some similar techniques that he used on his layout in this corner to get it as bulletproof as I can. I guess one of the things that I'm starting to come to realize is I may have the tracks laid by the end of January. I don't know that I'm going to have things powered up. I wanted to have all the wiring done by the end of November, which is like 2 days away or whatever it is, I don't know what it is, 3 days away. That's not going to happen. I wanted to then get all the track done by the end of December. I'm starting to think that with getting all of this stuff leveled out in this corner over here, that's probably not going to happen. And then the other problem that I've got going on is just that I keep getting distracted by if the track is laid, you can do some 050 switching. That's true. That's true. Because I'll have the track laid, but once I go to connect up the wiring, I guarantee you it's just going to be an absolute mess. And I just realized I really need to adjust the brightness on the lighting back there because that is just really blown out back behind me. So one of the side projects, let's take a look at one of the side projects that I've got going, and I'm trying to think of the best way to show it. Oh, you can't even see it in this shot. I'll talk about it and then I'll show you. As you guys know, I had a lot of cameras on my last layout. I'm intending to do the same with this layout that I have here now. So I have got cameras set up on this entire back section here right now. There's a couple of problems. They're all wireless cameras, which is creating its own problems. But I could lock up the stream right now. So if the stream crashes, I'm just kind of pre-warning everybody. This is my first time trying to bring up any of these cameras with the stream going. I don't know if the computer is going to handle it or not, but we're going to try it anyway. So I've set up, there are 9 cameras. There's 9 cameras on this. Let's go to here real quick. So from here over to here, so far there's 9 cameras. I'm going to set up one more here pointing that way. I'm going to set up 3 more cameras over on that side back there. But so far there's 9 cameras on this other part. To get things running so don't crash the computer, I set it up in 2 pieces. So I've got cameras, basically this is this side here, and this will take me from, this camera keeps falling. This will take me basically around to the center of the layout from this side here. And then I've got another set of cameras on this side. So when I go from here over, I've got another 4 camera views. So I thought that was kind of fun. But of course, I am me. So I need to do things a little bit odd, I guess you can say. So if you notice, this camera's on me right now, but if I move over here, the camera was supposed to move with me. What are you doing? Come over. What are you doing? Look at me. It's of course it's not working well because the live stream's going on. I think it's catching, like the video over there is moving, and I think it's getting confused by it. But I got this pan and tilt camera set up. So the idea or the thought would be that I can do a live stream and I could just kind of put the cameras on rotation. The pan and tilt camera would be able to follow, the operators around, so you can kind of see what the operators are doing, and then the cameras on the layout will show what those are doing. This will also, Jerry, you can see there's some, if you can see on this camera here, I don't know what's on screen right now, but I've already got some filler here, and there's actually some filler here on these joints. I still need to work on them. But anyway, the idea being that the pan and tilt camera can follow the operators around as they move through the space, and so yeah, I know. So 13 cameras, what could go wrong, right? Well, it doesn't want to look at you. Yeah, do you blame it? Do you blame it? I wouldn't want to look at me either. Yeah, exactly. Somebody asked, let's see. Oh, Bill was saying he didn't know about Manhattanville. Yeah, I didn't know about it either. So, John, I do still have the O train, what is it called? I don't know if you can see. There's a little screen in the corner that I just tilted up. So yeah, up at the top there, you can still see the O scale stuff is up there. The G scale is behind it. It's all still up there, but somebody was asking about the scale trains items. I do not still have the scale train stuff. The Z scale and the HO scale layout, the Z scale and the HO scale back and forth are no longer set up. I don't know what I'm gonna do in regard, maybe a body cam too. Yeah, that won't make you sick. Sorry, I know. Yeah, the pan and tilt camera has tracking. It's not great, so I don't know how well it's gonna work, but yeah. Grandpa says you should take some lessons from my grandson. He knows how to get the camera to follow him. Yeah, total squirrel. Totally jumping from train to train. So my scale trains SP, it's it's right up there. It is still here. I say right up there and pointed as if anybody can see anything I'm pointing to. So it is still up there. It's not running. The club that I joined is an N scale and HO scale club. So I will be able to run my HO scale stuff at that club. So I am thinking that I am going to be bringing a lot of my HO scale stuff probably to the club to run it. But yeah, I'm trying to, let's see if I can bring this back up again. So yes, so I do now have a train running, which I'm very excited about it. I do now have all of the cameras set up on this side of the room. I'm waiting for a couple more. I don't know, can you see it in this camera view? Up here, there's still some cords dangling. I'm waiting on some adapter cables or whatever to clean that corner up, but all the other stuff is wired in pretty nicely. And I part of what it is, and this is something I struggled with the first layout that I did as well, getting to the point of laying track. I've got a little bit of, I guess, a mental block in regards to it to some extent. And it's just that there is so much in N scale. If you're off by like a 32nd of an inch, it can create problems with stuff. Things won't run very well. You know, they're just problems, or can be problems. So I've got this kind of concern when I go to lay the track that if it doesn't get laid well, I'm going to end up ripping. I'm going to end up ripping this layout out as well. And I'm really enjoying this layout. I have learned a lot from the first layout, version 1.0. I'm learning a huge amount from this one. So it's kind of one of those things that I know I'm just going to keep learning things, but I really want to move. I want to get to a place. I'm hoping at some point that this layout will be a layout that I could have people come operate on, and things like getting that corner dialed in so that every train that leaves the main yard doesn't derail. I guess I'm just like, I'm a little nervous about it. So I start doing these side projects that they give me a little time to think, I guess. Like, yes, they're when in doubt, shim your way out. Yeah, I know. And Dennis, this is true as well. Like, I won't allow myself to do sloppy bench work. The bench work on my last layout was, in my opinion, the bench work was, or not the bench work, the track work was actually pretty good on my last layout. The issues I was having with my track work, I think, um, I have a couple theories on what the issues were. I don't believe any of it was because of how I laid it. So I am enjoying the process. Part of why I'm not doing a lot of videos on the layout build is because at this point I'm just building it. I don't want to, as much as I get distracted by side projects, I don't want to spend 40 hours a week editing videos at this point. So, I'm doing, I'm doing the photo updates. I've got the Riverside Transfer Facebook page. We've got the Discord where people hang out. We've got a whole bunch of various different um, ways to connect. So I am just kind of building this layout for me. So Dave, just so you know, and I think this is, I know people are doing it to be helpful. I do understand. Let's see if I can get the camera to pan up. Of course, now it's not going to pan up. Go, pan up, up. And you can't see it. I'm trying to show you guys something, and it's not working. So if you wonder what I'm staring at, and yes, the time is wrong. I am adjusting it, but like people sometimes will tell me like how much time is left in the stream. I have a clock that's right here. So the camera that I'm looking at when I'm looking at all of you guys is right here. And then I've got this monitor here where I'm, monitoring the chat, I'm monitoring Discord and various stuff like that. And then I've got this big clock up here. I'm going to adjust this clock so that it's the right time because for some reason it's running 2-3 minutes ahead and I don't know why. It's an iPad. You would think it's pulling from the same time server as everything else, but for whatever reason, it's showing the wrong time and I'm going to get that fixed. But yeah, I do, when I stream, I keep a very close eye on the time and time everything out as well as I can. Yeah, you can wait. No, yeah, that's you over there, the chat as well. Great. Dave's still counting down. You see the clock, Dave? You see it? I see. It is a fast clock, but I don't know why. It's very odd. Every other time device that I have in here is the same time. My iPhone's the same time. My computers are the same time. I actually have, so let me go back to this just so I don't make Dennis sick. I actually have another clock as well on another screen. This is the screen that I have OBS on. And that screen, I've got a clock on that as well. So that's the time that I'm actually going off of is that time there. But the time that I'm staring at is a little bit fast. Second section also does an intro, so I'm not too worried about it. They do, and say hello as well. So there's no need to rush. Enjoy your time, hang out. It's another reason I'm thinking of moving to Friday is so that I'm not backed up against somebody else. Athern also streams starting at 8 o'clock. So things you don't want to be streaming at the same time as Athern. And I've been doing it pretty much this entire year. So that's why I'm thinking of switching that up a little bit. But I do want to say thank you to everybody. I'm going to play my thank you video on the way out of here, but thank you all so much. I don't know if you could see it if it'll come into focus, but I do have a clock back there. It's showing the number of views on the channel, but it's also showing the subscribers. So thank you so much for supporting the channel and helping me grow and get to where I'm at with all of the support here and there. But I'll see everybody over at second section. I'm actually going to post up the link for those guys. So if you don't have the link to their channel, you can go over there and check them out as well. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight from the city. Where's my end button? Oh, that was going to be such a good end and I couldn't find the button. From the city that never sleeps. Farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about you.